For many residents of Ramsey, a small market town in central England, home is where the heart is. But not everyone would go as far as town councillor Peter Reeve. Every day the man from UKIP turns up at the public toilets to clean them himself. Before UKIP got onto the Ramsey Town Council, the toilets were closed on cost-saving grounds.
How's it going? All right, thanks. See ya. Did you find that?
Peter Reeve says, like all UKIP councillors, he believes in rolling up his sleeves and getting on with it. Ramsey is Britain's first UKIP-led council. Reeve is a relative newcomer to politics. Before that, he sold excavators.
I've always grown up thinking politics is something that other people do, it's something posh people do or something rich people do. Whereas UKIP actually said, no, we want you, an ordinary person who is prepared to work up and work hard and do things in your community. It's you that are most valuable.
Ramsey had been a Conservative stronghold before UKIP took control of the town council. But instead of aiming for the larger goals of the right-wing party, UKIP's focus here is on local projects, like this market run by volunteers.
So here each of the stall holders takes on a stall. They don't need to man it. Sometimes they do man them, but our volunteers look after them so people can have full-time jobs and still try their big business idea.
With just over a week to go before local elections, it's the burgeoning grassroots activism like this that's got the Conservatives worried. And the main source of their uneasiness is Nigel Farage, the leader of UKIP. He describes himself as a libertarian Eurosceptic and has positioned himself as the true heir to Margaret Thatcher.
I can honestly say that everywhere we go, whether it's Labour heartlands, whether it's Lib Dem, South West, whether it's Tory, rural Staffordshire, no matter where we go, the response to UKIP is fantastic. Now I'm going to get down as quickly as I can.
Most UKIP members in Ramsey and the surrounding area have never been politically active before. Now they're hoping to win over Conservative supporters, especially on the issue of Europe.
I believe our Parliament should rule our country the same as yours should rule yours. I do not believe that unelected officials in Brussels should tell us what to do.
I had to join a party. I was driven to it because unless people started to get active, democracy was going to drift away forever in this country.
If it were up to UKIP, Britain would build more prisons, reverse the ban on smoking in pubs, and leave the EU immediately.
75% of our laws binding up every one of our small businesses, every one of our fishermen, farmers, in what we believe to be an excessive regulatory framework. And of course the big one, over the last 10 years, is immigration.
The solution offered by Farage is simple. UKIP would introduce a 5-year freeze on immigration for permanent settlement. In Peterborough, the closest city to Ramsey, about 10% of residents are immigrants from the Commonwealth and Eastern Europe. So far, UKIP doesn't have a seat on the local council. But Labour councillors are alarmed by UKIP's anti-foreigner rhetoric. Mohammed Jamil is a Labour councillor and a lawyer for asylum and human rights.
And how's the afternoon looking anyway? They've set up businesses, they've made their homes here, and just like, you know, people who came in the 40s from the likes of the West Indies or 50s, 60s from the Indian subcontinent, this is something that's always happened. This country has always welcomed migrants. These people will integrate and, you know, this country will be a lot richer for it.
But UKIP voters say the immigration issue isn't being taken seriously enough by the established parties. In Peterborough, where UKIP is also campaigning, the anti-immigration posturing strikes a chord with many ordinary people.
We've earned what we get in this country. They haven't. They come here and take it.
And they can go into the NHS, and whereby we paid into a national health system, you know, we pay those sort of things to get the treatment. And you've got people that can come here and go straight in and have children. It's not fair.
Why would they gain popularity? Because there is some anti-Eastern European sentiment in the city, due to the high population and due to general unemployment problems, the economy.
But when it comes to other major issues such as education, taxes and health, UKIP's manifesto lacks clearly defined policies. Plus, its membership is still relatively small. Political analysts like Rodney Barker of the London School of Economics don't see UKIP as a threat in general elections 2 years from now.
there was a widespread feeling that the country was in economic crisis and that neither of the two major parties had anything important to say. Then in those circumstances, a party which came in on one issue and said, in effect, enough of this talk, action is needed. Leadership, that's what's needed. But I don't see that coming in this country.
Nevertheless, Britain's main parties have begun taking UKIP seriously. The right-wing populists have shown they can do more than just clean toilets. By firing up public resentment at immigrants and the EU, UKIP has proved effective in making life difficult for the other parties.